NASCAR has introduced new waiver rules for the 2025 season, and this decision has caused some major debate. The main reason for this controversy is what people are calling the Kyle Larson Rule. This rule was created after an incident in 2024 when Larson, trying to race both the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 on the same day, missed the NASCAR event due to weather delays at Indy. NASCAR still gave him a waiver, allowing him to stay eligible for the playoffs, and some people supported this decision, while others believed it was unfair. The new rule for 2025 states that if a driver skips a race for reasons not related to medical issues, family emergencies, or age restrictions, they will lose all their playoff points from the regular season. This is meant to stop drivers from choosing to miss races while still allowing exceptions for serious situations. The goal is to keep the competition fair and prevent drivers from getting special treatment. However, this rule has not been welcomed by everyone. One of the biggest voices against the waiver system is NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has spoken out against waivers in general, not just the new rule. On his podcast, he made it clear that he does not like the idea of waivers at all. His argument is simple. If a driver does not race, they should not get any points, no matter the reason. He believes that racing should be straightforward. Show up, compete, and earn your place. If you miss a race, you should not be given any advantage. Earnhardt's perspective is interesting because he's both a former driver and a team owner. He understands how the sport works from multiple angles. He argues that there are already rules in place to stop drivers from skipping races just because they want to. He points out that teams and sponsors would not allow a driver to simply decide not to race without a good reason. He also believes that the waiver system exists mainly to protect NASCAR's biggest stars. According to him, NASCAR wants to make sure that popular drivers stay in the playoffs even if they miss a race. This raises questions about whether the system is truly fair or if it is designed to favor certain individuals. Many fans are divided on this issue. Some agree with Earnhardt, believing that waivers create an unfair advantage. If a driver cannot compete in all the races, they should not be given a free pass into the playoffs. Others argue that some situations like medical emergencies should be considered differently. If a driver is injured but has already proven their skill throughout the season, should they really be disqualified just because they missed a race? This is where opinions start to differ. Kyle Larson's case in 2024 is an example of how complicated this issue can be. He did not miss the Coca-Cola 600 because he wanted to. He was stuck at the Indianapolis 500 due to bad weather. It was not his fault that the delay made it impossible for him to race both events. NASCAR decided to give him a waiver, but many people felt that this was a gray area. Some saw it as an understandable exception, while others thought it was unfair to other drivers who showed up and raced. With the new rule in place, situations like Larson's will no longer be given special treatment. If a driver chooses to compete in another event or for any reason outside of medical or family emergencies, they will lose their playoff points. This makes the system stricter, but it also raises concerns about how NASCAR will handle different situations in the future. What if a driver misses a race due to travel delays or some other unforeseen event? Will NASCAR still enforce the rule or will exceptions be made? Earnhardt believes that there is no need for a waiver system at all. He thinks that NASCAR is trying too hard to keep its biggest stars in the playoffs rather than letting the competition play out naturally. He has pointed out that even without waivers, top drivers will still make it into the playoffs if they perform well throughout the season. He also argues that the current system could be manipulated in ways that affect the fairness of the sport. If certain drivers get waivers while others do not, it creates a situation where not everyone is treated equally. NASCAR officials have defended the new rule, saying it will bring more clarity and fairness to the playoff system. They believe that by making the rules stricter, they are ensuring that every driver competes under the same conditions. They also emphasize that medical emergencies and family crises will still be considered valid reasons for missing a race without losing playoff points. This means that if a driver is injured or dealing with a serious personal issue, they will not be unfairly punished. Despite NASCAR's explanation, many people, including fans and insiders, remain skeptical. They worry that this rule could have unintended consequences. For example, what if a driver is sick but not seriously injured? Will they feel pressured to race just to avoid losing playoff points? This could create situations where drivers push themselves beyond their limits, which could lead to safety risks. The debate over waivers is not new. NASCAR has used waivers for years, but every time a controversial situation arises, people start questioning whether they should exist at all. Earnhardt's strong opposition to waivers has added fuel to this debate. His argument is based on the idea that racing should be simple and straightforward. You race, you earn points, and you qualify based on your performance. If you miss a race, you lose the opportunity to earn points just like any other sport. While Earnhardt's view is clear, not everyone agrees with him. Some believe that NASCAR should allow flexibility in certain cases. If a driver has already proven their talent over the course of the season, missing one race should not automatically ruin their chances. But the problem is deciding which situations deserve a waiver and which do not. This is where NASCAR has struggled in the past, and the new rule is an attempt to create a more consistent policy. This isn't the first time NASCAR's rules have come under scrutiny. In 2015, Kyle Busch missed 11 races due to injury but was still eligible for the playoffs. He went on to win the championship, which some saw as unfair. More recently, the inconsistent penalties for Bubba Wallace and Chase Elliott in similar on-track incidents have raised concerns. Fans have noticed these inconsistencies, and it has led to debates over whether all drivers are treated equally. Earnhardt's frustration goes beyond just the waiver rule. He also dislikes how NASCAR has changed the eligibility rules for certain events like the Clash. This race used to be held at Daytona International Speedway and had a unique, exclusive feel. But over time, the rules changed to allow more drivers in, making it feel less special. Earnhardt joked that at one point, all you needed was a valid driver's license to qualify. The race lost its prestige, and for many longtime fans, it wasn't the same anymore. The fan reaction to all these changes has been mixed. Some believe the waiver system is necessary to keep big names in the championship fight, making the sport more exciting. Others think it goes against the principle of full season participation. The waiver rule allows drivers who miss races for certain reasons, like injuries or scheduling conflicts, to still compete for the championship. Without a waiver, a driver must compete in every race to qualify for the playoffs. This system was introduced to prevent unfair advantages while still allowing flexibility for unforeseen situations. However, it has also created gray areas where some drivers seem to benefit more than others. If NASCAR wants to keep things fair, should waivers exist at all? On the other hand, waivers can help NASCAR maintain its star power. Losing a top driver for the championship due to an injury could hurt fan interest and ticket sales. Don't forget to comment down your thoughts on this, and while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.